Hey everyone, it is Echo and I am back for another 911 Lone Star episode review. Today we're going to be talking about Season 5, Episode 6, titled Naked Truth, and Season 5, Episode 7, titled Kiddos. So there's lots to talk about. Let's get started.
Just give me that leg.
Good, good. Now slide your hand down his leg. If he trusts you, he'll let you.
You all right, Cap?
I'm good. I'm gonna try his back leg.
This is such a bad idea.
Give me that leg.
So throughout Episode 6, we see Owen try to build trust with Thunder, and clearly it is not going well. In a way, I kind of feel for Thunder in this episode, in his lack of trust. So in America, we recently had our elections, and well, you probably heard the outcome. As a queer person, seeing how many people decided that racism, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, and the list goes on, is not a deciding factor absolutely blows my mind. Currently, I trust no one. Even people in my family I don't even trust anymore. And like Thunder, I feel like they are now going to have to earn my trust.
Marlene says you see things that other people don't see. Dark things. We both know that's true, don't we? You want the truth? Here it is. People think my brother died in his sleep. It's a lie.
In order for Owen to prove he is trustworthy, he takes Marlene's advice and shares his deep, dark secret that is haunting him throughout this episode. If you don't remember, in the Season 4 finale, Owen's brother, Robert, died. He had Huntington's disease, and he decided to end his life before the disease progressed, and he asked for Owen's help just to be there. So that storyline when Robert decided to kill himself had me a little bit confused. Like, did his brother get it approved from a doctor to end his life? Was the gas given to him by a doctor, or how did he get it? Like, I do support physician-assisted suicide if the patient is terminally ill and doesn't have a good quality of life anymore. I don't believe Robert was there yet. He could have had so much more time. So I can see how this is haunting Owen, especially because Owen put the mask back on him, practically killing him. Now, did this secret help Owen gain Thunder's trust? Let's watch and see.
You gotta trust me.
Duke, are you okay?
I'm okay.
Where's Owen?
He's still in the barn.
Wait.
No, he said not to let...
And the answer is yes. So there's a gas leak that causes a fire in the barn. I gotta admit, the talking animal scene was kinda weird. But thanks to Owen building trust with Thunder, they were able to both escape the fire. I think it would have been a very different story if Owen hadn't put in the effort. Unfortunately, the barn was destroyed, but at the end of the episode, we see the entire 126 gang and Carlos helping to rebuild the barn. Now let's move on and talk about Nancy and Tommy.
What I noticed was this asymmetry. Do you see how it looks like a lump? I can see your brain is going a mile a minute. Get screened. You are young. Unless there is a family history, chances are it's just a cyst. Statistically speaking, you have very little to worry about.
Okay. Thanks, Cap.
Okay.
So after a nude Nancy picture was sent to the 126 group chat, Tommy pulls Nancy aside. Now, thankfully, they were able to delete the photo on most of the 126's phones. They just didn't get to Tommy in time. However, Tommy's main concern isn't the photo itself, but the fact that she noticed a lump in one of Nancy's breasts. So she urges her to book a mammogram appointment. I guess maybe Tommy seeing that picture was a blessing in disguise, because if it is breast cancer, then fingers crossed it was caught early enough.
Unless I have a family history with breast cancer.
I mean, that sounds encouraging.
It would be if I didn't have a family history with it.
Oh, do you? Oh.
My great Aunt Becky died of it, my grandma married, and my mom.
Okay, you told.
The potential of Nancy having breast cancer leads us to learn a little bit more about her backstory. Nancy has always been a more underrated character, so it was nice to get to learn more about her and what she's been through. So she tells Mateo about how she has a family history with breast cancer, including that her mom died young from it. I feel for Nancy, as I myself also have a family history with it. My grandma died when I was only a few months old. She was young and could have had a lot more life to live, but breast cancer took her far too soon. So I can relate to Nancy. I can relate to the fear that I may get it someday.
Feel well. And she'd be going to the doctor. She was dead by Christmas.
So fast.
No. Those were the longest 2 months of my life. The things I saw my mom go through, I still can't unsee those images, Cap. And I feel bad for pushing Mateo.
So Nancy kind of shuts Mateo out during this time. So Mateo reaches out to Tommy to give Nancy support. And this results in Tommy scheduling a mammogram appointment at the same time and same clinic as Nancy. This was such a beautifully touching scene between the two. We've always talked about Tommy being a mother figure to TK, but she's also really stepped up into that role with Nancy as well.
That they found something? It's bad. It's bad, Nancy.
So Nancy was given good news. Her lump was just a cyst. The same can't be said for Tommy though. Tommy has breast cancer. I feel bad for Tommy, as she's had it quite rough this season. Between almost dying from a poisonous gas cloud to breaking up with Trevor and now this. I mean, can't the universe just give her a break? I guess when it rains, it pours. But Tommy is strong. She can fight this. Now, this leads to episode 7 titled Kiddos. In this episode, we see Tommy continue her journey to fighting breast cancer. So let's continue.
I would never subject you and TK to that.
Cap, you shouldn't be worrying about us. You should just focus on your healing.
Okay, this procedure is a grounder, okay? Dr. Collins has a 99.9% success rate.
But really, you just never know, because when my mom had chemo, you know, they told her to expect maybe 1 to 2 days of nausea, and she ended up in the ICU for a week.
I'm not your mother, Nancy. Oh, God, I'm so sorry.
Miss Vega.
So Tommy's breast cancer is stage 2B. So that means that she needs a lumpectomy. And instead of waiting to let the news settle, she decides to get the surgery quite quickly. Here we see her waiting for the surgery. Nancy is telling her to take time off and Captain Stevens will take over. But Tommy thinks she's going to go back to work the following day and continue life as normal. She doesn't even plan on telling anyone besides Nancy. I admire Tommy's determination and resilience, but cancer is no joke. She's going to need to use all her energy to fight this, and she's going to need all the love and support she can get.
Mom!
911, what's your emergency?
Something's wrong with our mom. She fell down and now she's not moving.
Okay, who am I talking to?
My name is Evie Vega. My address is 5674 Merriman.
Your mom is Tommy Vega?
Yes, she's a paramedic. Please hurry.
All right, we're sending help now. Is there anyone else in the house?
Just my sister, Izzy. Mom, please wake up.
Okay, tell me what happened.
I don't know. She was sewing and talking, and then she fell.
All right.
Since Tommy didn't rest after the surgery and take time off, she ended up developing a blood clot. This causes her to pass out and stop breathing right in front of her kids. I can't even imagine how Evie and Izzy must have felt in that moment. They did everything correct and saved their mom's life, and Tommy would be so proud. I think if I were in that position, I would not have been able to do half the stuff that Izzy and Evie did.
I'm gonna need to walk away from the 126. It might be for a long time.
I get it. Take all the time that you need. And the good news is, we know Captain Stevens is ready to plug in.
I don't want Steven, I want you.
After everything, Tommy tells Judd and her kids about the breast cancer. And in a very touching scene at the end, she asks Nancy to become acting paramedic captain. First of all, I'm so happy for Nancy. This is so well deserved and she will make a great captain. As for Tommy, now she can focus all her energy on fighting this cancer. And she's a fighter, so I believe she will kick cancer's ass. I also just want to add how appreciative I am that 911 Lone Star decided to do this storyline. I'm really glad that they are shedding a light on breast cancer in this final season. Now let's move on and talk about TK's storyline in Kiddos.
So the legend is real.
So who is this guy?
Enzo. It's TK's stepfather. He has a way of swooping in and making everything about him.
What are you doing here? I told you the party's not until Saturday.
Yes, well, someone wanted to wish you a happy birthday.
Oh my God, that kid is adorable.
An adorable prop.
Hi, Big Brother.
Hi, little brother. Oh, you got so big. Hey, did you just put a top?
So it's TK's 30th birthday, and he gets surprised by his stepfather Enzo and little brother Jonah. Wow, Jonah has gotten so big since we last saw him in season 3. I'm glad we finally get to meet Enzo too and see Jonah again. But is it just me, or is anyone still confused as to why they weren't at TK and Carlos's wedding? I really wish we could get an answer on that. Anyways, here in the scene, Enzo surprises TK with a sports car for his birthday. And talk about a car. I gotta admit though, from this first scene of meeting Enzo, I don't like him. And you see in the scene afterwards that Owen thinks there is something fishy going on. And I'm kinda with Owen on that. But Owen tries to take the high road and he invites them all over for dinner, and it doesn't go well. So let's see what happens.
Actually get to know him.
Okay. Well, why don't you tell me all the ways in which he's a great guy?
All right, well, he's the reason I became a firefighter in the first place.
No, I'm the reason you became a firefighter.
No, you're the reason why I almost didn't become a firefighter, Dad.
TK, I think that's enough.
No, he needs to hear this. I had so much resentment for the years that you were gone, but from 8 to 18, Enzo was there. Yet he's the one who convinced me that you're actually a good guy who just fallen down a well of pain.
Pain that he had.
Talk about arm wrestling gone wrong. The thing that got me in that scene was when Carlos jumped into paramedic mode and tried to stop the bleeding, all while TK looked like a deer in the headlights, and then was like, I'm gonna go get a bandage. Yeah, I don't know if a bandage was going to do any good there. I thought it was TK that was supposed to be the paramedic. Anyways, afterwards, TK has a talk with Owen about his behavior tonight. And we learn that it was Enzo that made TK want to become a firefighter, not Owen. It was Enzo that pushed TK to give Owen the benefit of the doubt, that Owen genuinely was a good person. Because Owen was never really there for TK growing up. It was usually Enzo. And at the end of the scene, TK urges Owen to make up with Enzo or don't come to his birthday party. Let's see if they made up. And I think they did. Y'all, I love this karaoke scene. It makes me so happy. A little fun fact about me is Queen is my all-time favorite band and my biggest musical inspiration. The way that they can transcend genres and push boundaries is really impressive. And I've also been lucky enough to see Queen and Adam Lambert in concert. I've been to so many concerts, and hands down, that is my favorite one I have ever been to. So when Under Pressure came on, I totally flipped out. It was awesome to see Ronan singing that song. Needless to say, Under Pressure will be covered in my upcoming 911 Lone Star base series for season 5. Anyways, karaoke ends quite abruptly. Let's see what happens.
I'm a Texas Ranger. What's going on?
We have reason to believe that Enzo de la Costa is on the premises. We're here to arrest him.
I'm Enzo. What are the charges?
Securities fraud, conspiracy, tax evasion, wire fraud.
Yeah, I was worried you'd say that. Sorry, kiddo.
I guess my suspicions were correct. Enzo has done some very bad stuff. He was arrested for securities fraud, conspiracy, tax evasion, and wire fraud. Obviously, this comes as a shock to TK, who never could have seen Enzo doing these things. TK thought he knew Enzo, but now he's not so sure.
Look, sounds like Enzo probably hurt a lot of people, and if he did, I hope he suffers the consequences, but he also raised you. And that's what a good person does.
Yeah, Enzo did play a big role, but so did you, Dad. I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for you.
I love this scene with Owen and TK. Owen reminds TK that people can be good and bad. Maybe there's a perfectly good reason as to why Enzo did this stuff. And Enzo still helped raise TK. And same goes for Owen. Yes, Owen might not have been there for TK growing up as much as he should, but in the very first episode, he did literally save TK's life. TK wouldn't be here if it weren't for him. So maybe people can be good and bad. And hopefully next episode we can learn about why Enzo did the things he did. In my last episode review, here was my top 5 favorite 911 Lone Star episodes. In number 1, we had 417 Best of Men and 418 In Sickness and in Health. In number 2, we had 3-4 Push. In number 3, we had 4-9 Roadkill. In number 4, we had 212 The Big Heat. And in number 5, we had 412 Swipe Left and 5-5 Thunderstruck. And after watching episode 6 and episode 7, here is my new top 5 favorites. As you can see, episode 7, Kiddos, is now in my 5th place slot. Kiddos was my favorite episode of season 5 so far. I absolutely love that we're shedding a light on breast cancer, and I really enjoyed getting to learn more about Enzo. So I had to put it in my top 5. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this review. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for episode 8's 911 Lone Star episode review.